You sound like a fool.
That's your opinion, not
No,
mine.
my opinion's the only one that counts.
With nothing but a sharp tongue, an iron will, and a black robe, Judge Judy created a television empire from scratch. Her fiery courtroom persona didn't just make waves, it made her one of the highest paid women on TV for over 2 decades. Viewers didn't just watch her, they were glued to their screens as she dismantled arguments with a single glare. She wasn't just entertaining, she was unforgettable. But while the cameras captured her power, they missed the pain behind the persona. Behind the robe was a woman carrying heartbreak, betrayal, and battles no one saw coming. Her real story involves more than legal victories. It includes a broken marriage, lost friendships, and accusations that threatened her legacy. For all her fame, Judge Judy's life off camera was anything but picture perfect. So what really happened behind the stern gavel and quick comebacks? Stick with us as we explore Judge Judy's meteoric rise, the cracks in her empire, and the emotional truth behind the legend. Before she was Judge Judy, she was Judith Susan Blum, a Brooklyn girl with grit in her bones and ambition in her eyes. Born in New York, her early life was shaped by strong cultural roots and even stronger family ties. Her upbringing was grounded in German and Russian Jewish traditions, giving her a deep sense of identity and resilience. That foundation would later fuel the unwavering presence she brought to every courtroom. She often looked back on her childhood with warmth, especially when it came to her parents. Her father, Murray, a dentist, was her hero, and once, she even called him the greatest thing since sliced bread. Her mother, Ethel, balanced the books as an office manager and the home with quiet strength. Judy fondly remembered her as a meat and potatoes kind of gal, practical, steady, and no nonsense. Judy's academic journey began at James Madison High School, where she graduated in 1961 with big plans already in motion. She then pursued a degree in government at American University, finishing in 1963 with her eyes on law. But she wasn't done climbing. She pushed forward and enrolled in New York Law School. By 1965, she had passed the bar and officially earned the title of lawyer. Her first legal job wasn't what she imagined. It was corporate law for a cosmetics company, and it left her unfulfilled. Realizing it wasn't her path, she left the position behind and turned her focus to raising her children, Jamie and Adam. Then came a turning point in 1972, sparked by a friend who mentioned a role in New York's family court system. It wasn't just a job, it was a calling. The courtroom lit something in her, a sense of purpose and passion she hadn't felt before. And in that space, she found her voice, loud and clear. By 1982, her fierce approach caught the attention of New York City Mayor Ed Koch. Impressed by her no-nonsense attitude, he appointed her to the criminal court bench. Only 4 years later, she was promoted to supervising judge of Manhattan's family court. Her reputation grew fast, and so did the myths around her iron-fisted courtroom style. Some said she was too blunt, too harsh, but she never accepted those labels. To her, it wasn't cruelty, it was clarity. One thing was certain, when Judy spoke, people listened, and that power soon extended beyond the courtroom walls. What began in a family court would explode into daytime television history. Back in 1993, a major shift began when the Los Angeles Times spotlighted her in a powerful article. What started as a tribute by writer Josh Gatlin and his wife Heidi soon became a major catalyst in Judy's public breakthrough. Not long after that article, Judy's no-nonsense presence caught national attention during a 60-minute segment on CBS. That single appearance flipped the switch. Suddenly, the entire country was talking about her. Audiences immediately connected with her brutally honest approach and commanding energy in the courtroom. It wasn't just entertainment, it was authority, unfiltered and unapologetic. That wave of attention turned into opportunity when she released her first book in 1996, Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining. It was bold, just like her, and it marked the start of a powerful pivot in her career. That same pivotal year, she stepped down from her role as a family court judge. But instead of fading out, she was gearing up for something even bigger. Then came 1995, a moment that changed everything when she was offered her own courtroom TV show. Without hesitation, she said yes, and that decision sent her straight to the top. Judge Judy officially launched on September 16, 1996, changing daytime TV forever. The format was simple but revolutionary. Real cases, real decisions, no fluff. Audiences didn't just watch, they were hooked from the very beginning. This wasn't scripted drama, it was raw, real, and riveting. Judy even brought someone familiar with her real-life bailiff from family court, Petrie Hawkins Bird. Just called Bird on screen, he became a fixture and a fan favorite for decades. Together, they dominated the genre, turning Judge Judy into a TV titan for the next 25 years. The chemistry was unmatched, and the courtroom became their stage. The show attracted a staggering 9 to 10 million viewers every single day. It was so dominant, it regularly outperformed even the Oprah Winfrey Show in the ratings. From 2009 until its finale in 2021, Judge Judy stood as the reigning champion of daytime television. Her speed, wit, and razor-sharp judgment became the gold standard for courtroom TV. Writer Brendan I. Corner once summed it up: viewers didn't want legal lectures. They wanted justice served cold and fast with a side of public humiliation for the guilty. And Judy delivered that experience, episode after episode, with no filter. She wasn't just resolving disputes, she was putting the system on display. A 2013 Reader's Digest poll made something shockingly clear. Americans trusted Judge Judy more than all 9 Supreme Court justices combined. That level of trust wasn't just rare, it was cultural dominance. She was everywhere, from skits on Saturday Night Live to references in The Simpsons and Will and Grace. In 2003, VH1 cemented her legacy by naming her one of the top 200 pop culture icons of all time. She wasn't just famous, she was iconic, unforgettable, and unmatched. But fame wasn't the only thing piling up, so was the money. Judy's rise brought fortune, and with it, the weight of expectations. With every season, her paycheck ballooned to numbers few could believe. By 2005, she was pulling in a jaw-dropping $25 million a year, and she was just getting started. By 2007, Judy wasn't just famous, she was stacking millions, with her net worth soaring to a jaw-dropping $95 million, landing her among the wealthiest women in entertainment history. Just 1 year later in 2008, that number skyrocketed again when her annual paycheck jumped to a staggering $45 million, cementing her status as TV royalty. Despite her empire growing by the day, Judy considered stepping away from the spotlight as early as 2010, a twist no one saw coming. With her contract set to expire in 2014, she mused, maybe 2013 is the perfect time to bow out, leave while I'm on top. But instead of saying goodbye, she leaned in. Then came 2011, and something terrifying happened mid-taping. Judy collapsed on set and had to be rushed to the hospital, leaving fans shaken. It turned out she had suffered a mini stroke, a moment that could have ended it all, but it didn't. Miraculously, she bounced back in record time, returned to her bench like nothing had happened, stunning both doctors and fans. That same year, CBS renewed her deal once more, this time upping her salary to a jaw-dropping $47 million a year. Here's the wildest part. Judy only worked 52 days a year, meaning she earned over $900,000 every single workday, a number most can't even fathom. In 2017, Forbes revealed she pulled in $147 million before taxes, officially crowning her the highest paid host on television. Judy once cracked, "You want the Emmy, or you want the job?" a line that echoed her frustration with industry snubs. After 14 long years without winning a single daytime Emmy, she finally took one home in 2013, and then did it again in 2016 and 2017, proving patience pays off. In 2015, her legacy hit new heights when Guinness World Records named her the longest-serving judge in TV history, a title only a powerhouse like Judy could claim. But even legends reach a point where they say, enough. Behind the scenes, Judy was growing increasingly frustrated with CBS and their creative decisions, sparks that eventually caught fire. She was also hit with legal battles, including one from Rebel Entertainment, and by March 2020, she dropped the bombshell on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Season 25 would be her last. She didn't just exit quietly, she told Ellen that 25 is a good round number, signaling closure with purpose. The very last case was filmed on June 8, 2021, and fans watched the final episode air on July 23rd of that year. But if you thought Judy was stepping down for good, think again. She made it crystal clear. Retirement wasn't even on the table. Long before Judge Judy wrapped up, she was already planning her next move, and it had a brand new name. That next chapter? Judy Justice. A new title, a new courtroom, a whole new game. As Judge Judy signed off in 2021, Judy Scheindlin stepped right back into the spotlight with fresh fire. She didn't wait long. Production on Judy Justice began as early as July 2021, just weeks after the final Judge Judy taping. But this this time, she wasn't on daytime cable. She launched straight into the future on Amazon's Freevee, previously known as IMDb TV. By doing this, Judy Justice made history as the first ever courtroom show created exclusively for a streaming platform. She wasn't just keeping up with the times, she was rewriting the rules. This wasn't the same old bench either. Judy switched up her robe color, stepped into a sleek new courtroom, and invited a fresh cast into her circle. Among them was her own granddaughter, bringing a Gen Z voice into the mix and showing Judy's world was evolving. Another new twist? Judy began relying heavily on a court stenographer to play back exact quotes during heated cases, keeping everyone honest. She wasn't just updating the style, she was changing the substance of courtroom TV. The vibe of Judy Justice leaned into longer, more emotional episodes, each one zeroing in on a single case with higher stakes and bigger payouts. Unlike the rapid-fire verdicts we saw on Judge Judy, here she took her time, digging deeper than ever before. She began handling each case with more patience and precision, showing a softer side that surprised longtime viewers. Still, that shift wasn't welcomed by everyone tuning in. One of the biggest shocks for fans came from what was missing: her trusted bailiff, Petrie Bird. He had been a fixture for years, and his absence was deeply felt. Instead, Judy Justice introduced a new face, Kevin Rasco, standing where Bird once did. That change alone left many loyal viewers feeling uneasy. Bird later opened up about the decision, revealing he felt blindsided and confused. What hurt most was that Schindlin never gave him a heads up about the replacement. When she finally addressed it, Schindlin said the show was taking a new path, while still praising Bird as terrific. Even with those kind words, fans struggled to accept the sudden shift. But Bird didn't let bitterness take over. Instead, he responded with grace, expressing gratitude to Schindlin for all they had shared. Then came a twist no one saw coming. In April 2022, he landed a role in Tribunal Justice, a show created by Schindlin herself. This new series included 2 Hot Bench alumni and even featured her son, Adam Levy. While Judy Justice didn't pull the same massive ratings as Judge Judy reruns, it quietly broke records. It became the most watched program on IMDb TV based on total streaming hours. The success didn't stop there. It was renewed for a second season, which kicked off on November 7th, 2022. Adding to her list of milestones, Schindlin snagged a Daytime Emmy for Judy Justice. That win made her the only TV judge to earn Emmys for 2 different courtroom series. But Judy's story extends far beyond the gavel and the bench. Her life has been filled with major media moments and headline-making appearances. Even off the courtroom set, Schindlin remained a media powerhouse. She's graced programs like Entertainment Tonight, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Larry King Live, Good Morning America, and The Wendy Williams Show. One unforgettable moment came in 1998 when she surprised Saturday Night Live audiences. She crashed a parody sketch about her, proving she could take a joke with a smile. That same year, she stepped into fiction with a cameo in the TV movie Chips 99, portraying herself in a courtroom scene. Not long after, she judged the Miss America pageant in 1999, expanding her television presence even more. Then on February 21st, 2000, viewers got a rare, intimate look into her life through a 1-hour documentary, Judge Judy, Sitting in Judgment. It painted a deeper portrait of the woman behind the robe. Fast forward to 2008, she appeared on Shatner's Raw Nerve, revealing a more personal side of herself. And in 2009, she sat down for an extensive 2-hour interview with the Archive of American Television. Over the years, she's recounted her journey many times, always with a mix of honesty and fire. A standout moment came in 2013, when she joined Katie Couric at New York's 92nd Street Y. That evening, she didn't just talk about her career. She unveiled stories from her time as a family court judge that few had heard before. And just like that, the legend of Judge Judy continued to grow. Back in 2014, Judy Schindlin didn't just sit back and enjoy her success. She launched her very own production company, Queen Bee Productions, setting the stage for her next big move. From that creative hive emerged one of her boldest projects yet, a courtroom series called Hot Bench. But this one came with a twist that no one saw coming. Instead of the usual single-judge setup, Hot Bench brought in a trio of judges, cameos, completely flipping the traditional format on its head. The spark for the show came from an unexpected place. Judy was in Ireland with her husband, watching a courtroom session that changed everything for her. Reflecting on that moment, she said, "We watched a 3-judge bench, which I found both fascinating and compelling, and that inspiration quickly turned into television magic." Wasting no time, she assembled a powerhouse panel made up of Patricia DeMango, Tanya Acker, and Larry Bachman, each bringing a unique voice to the bench. As the show evolved, Bachman stepped away and was replaced by Michael Corriero, a change that gave the panel fresh chemistry and kept things interesting. Hot Bench didn't just survive, it thrived, carving out its own identity while still bearing the fingerprints of CBS and producer Randy Douthat, the same team behind Judge Judy. Then in 2016, news broke that CBS had another surprise in store, a drama series based on Judy's life, promising a whole new angle on her legacy. The series, titled Her Honor, followed a brilliant young judge in New York who excelled in the courtroom but struggled with chaos in her personal life, a concept rich with drama. Scheindlin didn't just lend her story, she signed on as an executive producer, putting her stamp on the show from the top down. That same year, never one to slow down, she introduced a fresh concept with Eyewitness, a short-run game show built around sharp observation and fast memory. The show tested how well contestants could recall details from video clips, and although it only aired for 6 weeks in 2017, it showed her willingness to experiment with new formats. In 2017, Judy opened up in a rare interview for Fox News Objectified, revealing intimate stories from both her courtroom and her home life. But not every headline brought applause. Controversy came knocking, and not for the first time in her career. That same year, the National Enquirer ran a damaging and entirely false story, claiming Judy had brain damage, Alzheimer's, and had cheated on her husband. They even dragged her daughter Nicole into the mess, wrongly alleging she had a criminal past, which only made the scandal hit harder. Eventually, the magazine issued a public apology, but by then, the damage was done, and the emotional toll had already been dealt. It was a reminder that even icons like Judy Scheindlin, tough as she is, aren't immune to the sting of rumor and lies. Still, Judy kept moving. She surprised fans with a cameo on Curb Your Enthusiasm, where the show brilliantly spoofed her courtroom with uncanny accuracy. From the gavel to the voiceover, everything felt like a page ripped right out of Judge Judy, leaving fans thrilled by the homage. Then in 2018, she appeared on Norm Macdonald Has a Show on Netflix, continuing her streak of high-profile, attention-grabbing guest spots. Once again, Judy proved she wasn't just a judge or a TV personality. She was a force that kept evolving and stayed in the spotlight on her own terms. Even when life threw obstacles in her path, Judy never backed down. She turned every challenge into fuel for her next big move, using her spotlight to uplift others, not just herself. Instead of simply enjoying fame, she found purpose in giving back and staying fiercely grounded. That strength? It's something she's always carried with pride, both on and off screen. From the very start, Judy was breaking barriers. She stood out as the only woman in her law class, unshaken and laser-focused on her goals. By just 23, she had already become a corporate lawyer, setting records while others were still finding their footing. Her no-nonsense style later made her a force to be reckoned with in family court. She didn't just appear on TV, she dominated it. Judge Judy became the most successful courtroom show ever broadcast, but her real work extended far beyond the studio lights. Behind the scenes, she was still rolling up her sleeves. With her stepdaughter Nicole Scheindlin, she launched Her Honor Mentoring, a life-changing program for young women. This wasn't just mentorship, it was empowerment. The initiative helped girls build confidence and carve out paths toward successful careers in the real world. In 2017, she opened the doors to something even more powerful, a debate space at the University of Southern California called the Scheindlin Forum. She envisioned a hub where open-mindedness would thrive. As she put it, when one searches for the truth, one should be armed with all available information. Her message, a closed mind, can be dangerous. Her voice, once confined to courtrooms, now echoed through the halls of academia and community projects. Through books, too, she made her mark, sharing both life lessons and raw personal experiences. In 2013, she published What Would Judy Say?, a grown-up guide to living together with benefits. And just a year later, she followed it up with another bold title, What Would Judy Say? Be the Hero of Your Own Story. Each one reminded readers to take charge of their lives. Her impact didn't go unnoticed. Awards and honors poured in. Honorary doctorates, a distinguished alumni recognition from New York Law School, and Cedars-Sinai's Woman of the 21st Century Award. And just when you thought she'd done it all, she hit the campaign trail. In 2020, she championed Mike Bloomberg's presidential run, hitting the road for a Southern bus tour. Her message? Crystal clear. She said, "It's the most perfect country in the world, and those who try to change it, I'll fight them to the death." Judy never minces words. That kind of fire is why people still listen when she speaks. Whether in politics, media, or everyday life, she stands tall for what she believes. Even now, as time moves forward, that inner fire, it hasn't dimmed one bit. But behind the headlines and courtroom clout, what's the story of her heart? Her personal journey is just as layered as her career. She's known love and heartbreak. It all began when she was just 20, stepping into marriage for the first time. In 1964, she tied the knot with Ronald Levy, a fellow attorney, fresh out of school. Looking back, she admitted she married him partly because he was kind, could dance well, and it felt like the right moment. While her friends were walking down the aisle, Judy was dreaming of more than a white dress. She wanted to be a young mom before her 30s hit. She wasn't the kind of woman to chase only promotions and paychecks. Judy had a vision of a home filled with children's laughter. Though she dabbled briefly in the world of corporate law with a cosmetics company, it wasn't long before she traded briefcases for baby bottles. Judy and her then-husband Ronald welcomed two little ones into their world. Jamie in 1966, and Adam just 2 years later, shaping the rhythm of their lives. Craving a quieter, more family-focused life, the couple packed up and moved to the countryside, chasing peace and slower days. But peace soon turned to restlessness. Judy started feeling trapped in the quiet life she'd chosen. She later admitted that staying home, while noble, left her feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. "I wasn't stimulated by it anymore," she confessed. Despite pouring herself into the role for nearly 6 years, the realization slowly crept in. It wasn't where her soul thrived. Determined not to give up on herself, she re-entered academia, earning her law degree in family law from NYU and stepping back into the courtroom in 1972. Judy wasn't chasing success for ego. She wanted to prove she could raise a family and make her mark in law. But her dreams weren't mirrored by Ronald. He saw her growing career as a mere side project. Judy later revealed, "My first husband was a kind and decent man, but to him, my work felt like a pastime, not a profession," a view that slowly cracked their bond. That growing tension finally tipped the scales, and after 12 years together, the marriage came to an end. But endings make space for new beginnings. And in 1976, Judy's next chapter started when she locked eyes with a sharp-witted attorney in a Manhattan bar. At the time, she was already making waves as a tough prosecutor in family court. He was Jerry Shindlin, a defense lawyer mid-conversation with a reporter. With classic Judy flair, she walked in, pointed at him and demanded, "And who is this?" sparking a fire neither of them expected. Unfazed, Jerry shot back, "Lady, get your finger out of my face." And just like that, the banter turned into something deeper. That spark grew quickly, and by 1977, Judy and Jerry had walked down the aisle, ready to try again at love. Still, love stories aren't always smooth. Judy had finalized her divorce, but Jerry was only separated from his previous wife. He wanted to skip the paperwork and just live together. But Judy wasn't settling. She gave him a clear ultimatum. As she recalled in an interview, "I said, I want to see your divorce in the newspaper, or don't ever call me again." Faced with her resolve, Jerry made it official. And once the ink dried, the two built a new family with 5 children between them. Even before they blended their lives, Jerry brought Nicole, Gregory, and Jonathan from his previous marriage, while Judy had her 2 children, Jamie and Adam, by her side. Merging their families was no smooth ride, and both Judy and Jerry knew the stakes were high from the start. As Jerry once boldly put it, "If the 5 kids didn't get along, we'd simply walk away." Though Judy doesn't recall those exact words, she and Jerry poured their energy into making it work, and it paid off beautifully. Remarkably, 3 of their children chose to follow their parents' footsteps into the legal world, just like destiny had planned it. Adam climbed the legal ladder to become a district attorney, and later sat on the bench for tribunal justice. Impressive, right? Gregory charted his own course too, founding the Shundlin Manhattan law firm and building a name for himself. Nicole? She rose to the top as a partner at Menser and Shandlin, where her influence was deeply felt. Meanwhile, the other two, Jamie and Jonathan, took completely different paths, reminding us that not all success wears the same shoes. Jamie stepped away from the public spotlight, and Jonathan made his mark as an eye doctor, a career worlds apart from law. Then came a twist no one expected, a divorce, a second chance, and a love story with a new chapter. For years, Judy and Jerry's marriage was solid, but everything changed in 1990 when tragedy knocked on their door. Judy's father, Murray Bloom, passed away, and the weight of grief pushed her to seek comfort in Jerry. But to her surprise, he struggled to offer the emotional support she desperately needed. "I wasn't asking for the moon," Judy later reflected, but Jerry honestly didn't know how to give what she was asking for. As her sorrow deepened, so did the tension, and Judy simply wanted him to show up emotionally, just once. But Jerry had always moved through life on his own terms, and stepping into that new role wasn't something he could do overnight. The connection between them frayed, and eventually, their conversations stopped feeling like conversations at all. At her breaking point, Judy gave him an ultimatum, one that would change everything. "If you can't handle this," she told him, "I'll divorce you." Jerry, unwilling to back down, challenged her. "I dare you," he said, and she stunned him by delivering divorce papers the very next day. 1990 marked the official end of their marriage, but that ending was only the beginning of something deeper. Turns out, love doesn't vanish that easily. Jerry admitted he missed her deeply during their time apart, and Judy, after a disappointing date, she realized how much she still needed him in her life. When he reached out, she welcomed him back, and just like that, the spark was reignited. Even though Jerry hadn't changed much, Judy embraced him for exactly who he was. Their connection didn't just return, it matured, stronger than before. Then one day, Jerry looked at her and said something that changed everything again. "This is ridiculous," he told her. "I feel weird being around you all the time and not being married. Let's just do it again." And just like that, love got a second wind. Because of their legal backgrounds, tying the knot again was quick and painless. They grabbed a same-day marriage license and had a simple but beautiful ceremony, officiated by a close friend who just happened to be a Supreme Court judge in New York. So what's the secret behind their unbreakable bond and lasting love? It's not magic. It's patience, understanding, second chances, and choosing each other over and over again. Although their journey hasn't always been smooth, Judy and Jerry's relationship has evolved into a powerful partnership filled with loyalty and love. What caused tension in their early years wasn't lack of love, but rather the absence of support and clear communication. As the years passed and they matured together, they discovered how to truly show up for one another in every season. When Judge Judy exploded onto television screens in 1996, Jerry stood proudly beside her, never once threatened by her rising fame. Reflecting on their dynamic, he once remarked, "Behind every great woman, there is a man," showing his unwavering pride in her success. As Jerry began making his mark on the people's court, Judy stood right behind him, cheering the loudest. In fact, she was the first to push him forward, saying, "You should do it," and Jerry knew her belief in him was real. Both of them stand united on one important belief: attraction still matters in a marriage, even decades later. Judy openly shared this thought, saying, "If you fall for someone instantly, it's probably because the chemistry is strong." She's also quick to acknowledge Jerry's dedication to staying fit, a quality she fell in love with nearly half a century ago and still admires today. But if you ask Judy what really keeps their marriage thriving, she'll tell you it's understanding each other's emotional and physical needs. In a candid moment on Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, Judy shared her recipe for keeping a man satisfied without losing yourself. She explained, "Men want food, affection, and space," and finished with, "If you give them those three, they're generally content." Applying that wisdom helped her connect deeper with Jerry, and it became a turning point in their relationship. Their legacy now extends beyond love. It's family. From raising 5 kids, they now watch proudly over 13 grandchildren. And incredibly, a few of those grandchildren are following the same legal trail, just like their grandparents once did. Judy didn't start Judge Judy for the fame or the spotlight. She did it to offer her family a better shot at life. Her modest hope, a show that might last a few years and earn them a cozy apartment somewhere near the beach in Florida. But what came instead was beyond even her wildest expectations. A TV career that spanned 25 groundbreaking years. Now, she's passed passing that torch by mentoring her granddaughter Sarah Rose, who joins her as a law clerk on Judy Justice. However, behind the glitter of courtroom fame, there were shadows. For all its daytime TV dominance, Judge Judy wasn't without scandal. It started like a whisper, but quickly turned into a storm. Several former staff members stepped into the spotlight and accused the show's producers of fostering a toxic work environment that couldn't be ignored. As more details came to light, Business Insider revealed disturbing allegations, including sexual harassment, verbal abuse, and even instances of unwanted physical contact. The accusations got even more personal when several women alleged that male producers frequently made inappropriate, unsettling remarks, leaving them feeling disrespected and unsafe. But the bombshells didn't stop there. Court records surfaced, revealing accusations of racism playing out behind the scenes. These court documents didn't hold back. They outlined what appeared to be a repeated pattern of racist behavior by people in positions of power. Adding to the complexity, many former employees insisted that Judy wasn't just a bystander. She had full control over everything on set. They claimed that when it came to decisions, Judy wasn't just the face of the show. She called every shot, and her word was final. But behind the scenes wasn't the only place drama brewed. Judge Judy's life outside the courtroom was filled with legal chaos of its own. One of the most attention-grabbing cases was a defamation lawsuit she filed against the National Enquirer, and it quickly grabbed national headlines. The magazine had gone too far, claiming she was depressed, had Alzheimer's, and cheated on her husband, claims Judy fiercely challenged in court. In the end, she didn't just win. The Enquirer had to eat its words and publicly apologize, as reported by USA Today. Just when things seemed to cool off, another legal storm rolled in. In 2014, Judy went after a personal injury lawyer who misused her name and face in ads. The ads falsely made it look like she endorsed his firm, and Judy didn't hesitate to shut that down legally. That lawsuit wasn't the last of it either. Former producers and a talent agency also filed suit, saying CBS and Judy owed them a cut of the profits from the wildly successful Judge Judy show. Even outside the courtroom, she stirred fierce reactions. Her comments about politics sparked backlash across the country. Judy publicly criticized Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's case against Donald Trump, a move that quickly divided her audience. While some applauded her bravery, others felt she'd crossed a professional line and spoken out of turn. Beyond the legal drama and political heat, fans began to look closer at her on-screen conduct, and not everyone liked what they saw. Critics argued her courtroom tone often came off as harsh toward poor litigants, pointing out moments where she asked deeply personal questions unrelated to the case. Things took an even more troubling turn when people revisited her earlier writings, which included outdated and harmful racial stereotypes like welfare queen and super predator. What's shocking is how those same controversies kept chasing her, even as she moved on to fresh projects. When Judy launched her new show, Judy Justice, it was supposed to mark a bold new chapter. But familiar concerns crept in almost immediately. The excitement was real, but one detail left many loyal fans uneasy in questioning the direction of the show. Surprisingly, her longtime bailiff, Petrie Hawkins Bird, didn't make the cut for her new show. After working by her side for more than 2 decades, fans expected him to return. When Bird realized he wasn't asked back, he admitted feeling stunned and disappointed. Judy later explained that while Bird was a wonderful person, the show needed to head in a fresh direction. Despite saying he held no grudges and wished her well, Bird's absence left many viewers heartbroken. But that wasn't the only thing people started talking about. Another heated topic was the structure of the cases featured on Judge Judy. Although the disputes were rooted in real issues, they weren't tied to any official court system. Judy called the shots based on her own experience, turning law into compelling television. Even so, she stood firm in her decision. Despite the critics raising their eyebrows, people questioned how one person could earn so much for a courtroom TV show until they heard her bold response. Judy made it crystal clear, "I am the show. Without me, there is no Judge Judy." That statement rang true when in 2018, Forbes revealed her staggering salary. At that time, she was named the highest paid host on television, raking in a jaw-dropping $47 million a year. This paycheck came not just from Judge Judy, but also from another hit series she helped bring to life, Hot Bench. And she didn't stop there. Judy knew how to turn her legacy into profit. she sold the rights to her extensive library of Judge Judy episodes for a colossal $100 million. Even after wrapping up Judge Judy, she didn't step back. In July 2025, she launched yet another show called Justice on Trial on Prime Video. This new project explored 8 groundbreaking legal cases that changed U.S. law, and all episodes dropped on July 21st. What made it even more impressive? She created and produced the entire series herself. With a career like that, it's no wonder her financial empire keeps growing. From million-dollar mansions to courtroom fame, Judy's wealth is nothing short of legendary. As of July 2025, her net worth has climbed to a staggering $440 million. Most of that came from her years as the star of Judge Judy, plus her role behind the scenes of Hot Bench. And let's not forget, she made a fortune selling her classic courtroom episodes to CBS, proving once again, Judy always knows how to close the deal. Sure, her salary was impressive, but that was only the beginning of her financial empire. Judy didn't just save her money, she poured it into luxurious real estate investments. Instead of owning 1 or 2 properties, she built an entire portfolio across the country. From coast to coast, she secured homes in 6 different prime locations across the U.S. Think of it. She has a stunning penthouse overlooking New York City, a stately manor in the leafy suburbs of Greenwich, Connecticut, and a lavish mansion in the scenic coastal town of Newport, Rhode Island. She didn't stop there. She also snagged a 5-bedroom condo in glitzy Beverly Hills, and not just 1, but 2 dream homes tucked away in sunny Naples, Florida. But the crown jewel? That's her primary residence in Connecticut. This isn't just a house. It's a 12.5-acre estate with 10 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, a pool, and breathtaking gardens. Together with her husband Jerry, Judy reportedly dropped $13.2 million on that slice of paradise. Still, despite the glamour, Judy insists she never chased wealth for its own sake. In truth, her initial hope for Judge Judy was modest. Just a short TV run to help her and Jerry retire comfortably near the beach in Florida. She once reminded fans, "We were civil servants with 5 kids. We just wanted to give them good educations without leaving them buried in debt." That humble plan? It turned out even better than she ever imagined. Now, Judy isn't just a television icon. She's a self-made mogul with a lasting legacy. And that legacy? It's already being passed down to the next generation. Her granddaughter, Sarah Rose, now works by her side as a law clerk on Judy Justice, keeping the courtroom spirit alive. But what's your take on Judy's journey? Do you believe her incredible success outweighs the criticism she's faced throughout the years? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.